handicapped by the fact they couldn't travel too much. Now with the ability to actually travel and get out to the tournaments, it is going to be a very different story to tell in North Dakota. But Rod, we're getting ready to get into game number 1.
Yes, and I'm very excited to see what this is going to bring us. So as we kick this match off right here, yes, your eyes do not deceive you, friends, if you're just tuning in. It is me, Swordfighter, and it is most certainly Richter right here on the big stage for a change. And this is okay. You know, I don't mind a break from the norm. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I feel like earlier in Ultimate, we got our healthy amount of the Belmonts, and then they kind of fell off by the wayside. But they're back right now here in a dominant way.
Yeah, and the Belmonts are a character that are entirely built around making you fall for their traps. They're all about controlling the space. You have the usage of the Holy Water, you have the cross, and you just constantly control people's pace at ledge, but also just keeping them in a situation where they don't want to jump too much because they might get smacked up. But me, Swordfighter, falls into a similar category. That up B from ledge is a very good option to constantly get away from people. And the Tornado has stupid amounts of hit stun, which could lead to KOs pretty easy, unless you just whiff an up B like that in center stage.
That's right, and F Smash will certainly get the job done for you. I feel like sometimes people forget about the strength factor that me, Swordfighter, has, because, you know, we just get so wrapped up in Gunner and Brawler. Obviously, 2 very strong iterations in the me character department. The Swordfighter is certainly here to stay here properly. And as you can see right now, Eric right here now holding any punches here in this matchup. Really showing how, you know, just great they can pilot this character, not just from a distance. Of course, we know that that's how this character gets down, but also up close and personal, really breaking that zone that the Belmont characters bring.
Yeah, and utilizing that reflector so well right now. That's one of the few things you'll see get switched up with me, Swordfighters, except for the fact that you can't reflect it after you already got hit by the fire. So that is going to be a conversion straight from the Holy Water into the back air there for Dom.
No doubt about it, man. There's the Holy Water right at the ledge of the stage. Not quite able to make anything happen off it. Oh, fancy stuff right there. Gets the reverse, and I think they're starting to play a step ahead here. The competition, great up special.
The frame traps in the option coverage coming in from Dom already. Unfortunately, doesn't get the up smash right there, but using the Holy Water and the cross to keep Eric in a position where he's constantly forced to run away. That really large lead that we saw before kind of disappearing a bit, but luckily for Eric, me Swordfighter does have down throw to up air around 80-ish%, which is a true kill confirm. And if you catch Tornado at ledge, you could possibly get a kill too, so it's going to be on Dom to get rid of this relatively soon.
That's right. It's certainly something to keep in the back of your head for sure. I mean, Eric, of course, is just showing you how they can pilot this character inside and out, but let me take that back. I don't know what type of pilot they are, because they could not pilot themselves back to the ledge there properly enough. Courtesy right there of just the great pressure that Dom is just applying here. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, you're actually cooked. Oh, yeah, you're cooked.
Amazing frame trap right there. After getting the bounce, using the back air, and making sure that it was the back air of all things so you could still fall down and have the actual frame data to get another one in there and get the hit. Dropping down with the nair to cover the tether grab too, but big damage coming in here from Dom already. I like the fact he tried to go for maybe an air dodge read to cover it with Holy Water. Rod, there's almost enough. There hasn't been a single safe landing available for Eric this whole set.
Really, for both of the characters, man, but most notably Eric. I mean, Dom is just getting so much off a dash attack, and it's actually wild to see 2 characters that are kind of designed with some very similar ingredients in mind. You know, to zone the opponents out, find that initial hit, and then really turn it up to 10 right there. And as you can see right now, Dom is doing that right there in a big way. But again, that dash attack is really the bane of Eric's existence. Mind you, he spent a considerable amount of time off stage. Holy Water, the cross not getting it done there.
Oh my goodness, just so close now. All right, so that should lead to, just missed out on the forward air. Not high enough to be able to go for an up B at that point, but you have to watch out for your recovery. Falling asleep at the wheel, thinking that they were out of range of the axe, and that's gonna be Dom taking the first game.
That's right, Dom showing up the way that they're supposed to here. No disrespect to Eric. Eric, obviously a big threat. And I mean, you don't make it this far into the tournament of this stature for no reason, but there's going to have to be, a couple of areas we're going to have to tighten up just a little bit more. You know, once more dash attack, Dom getting so much mileage off of that, really breaking that zone, you know, whether it's putting on percent or it's pushing Eric off stage, as we've seen there, especially with how that match just wrapped up. Eric off of their feet, most notably off of their feet off stage, and not a spot where they seem to be most comfortable at. So let's see what we get here for game number 2, kicking it back off here on Pokemon Stadium once more. And yes, mind you, again, Eric also just can't jump around on Dom for free either. F-tilt, pretty solid size anti-air as well too. Kind of, I don't know how quick it comes out, but it's just enough right there to keep an opponent out of your airspace.
I think one of the things that's also worked very well for Dom is after the very early reflectors that kept smacking away things like the holy water, it started to play more passive around it. It had some good ledge traps that worked out. But you can't use chakram too much in this because it keeps getting checked by the cross, which is very bad for me Swordfighter because they love using that as not only their full range projectile, but using it as a tech chase tool too. You need to be able to set that up consistently, but you have to respect stuff like this. Getting away just enough, not to very big punish, just like a back air, but luckily at least you're still alive, if for only a little bit longer, which didn't last that much longer after that.
Unfortunately not. Yes, Ajax, she spoke it right into existence, and unfortunately enough right there for Eric, just not enough to get back to the stage. And yes, again, it is the off-stage gameplay, you know, just not being mindful of your jumps and, you know, just your tools to get back safely. And this is what the Belmonts are really good at. I mean, obviously speaking about Richter here specifically, but you know, again, holy water, the axe, you know what I'm saying, the cross, all of that, that is enough to just really destroy even some of the best recovery systems in the game. It really forces you to think because you're just being pelted with a barrage of projectiles, namely that holy water as well, too, because it explodes, you're in it for a while. Once a Belmont, especially of this stature, sees that, they're coming in for the follow-up every time.
And you can see, like, many times over that Eric has tried to slow down the game because he realizes, okay, I can't really challenge you too much head-on because the whip is really quick. And but in this matchup, though, gets caught up by the forwarder as we just speak about it. You can't zone Belmonts for too long. They're more than content to staying away from you. And Dom is just continuously controlling the pace here of the second game.
Yeah, I mean, I've never played me Swordfighter, and especially not to this level here. But if I was Eric, I would certainly not be trying to, you know, challenge Dom to a game of just like home on the range, long range gameplay. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's not try to turn this into an arms race here. Let's try to figure out a way to break each other's zones, because that's a stance right now. I mean, as good as Chakram is in and a few of the other options that me Swordfighter has, you know, that strength factor that I feel like people forget about is certainly something I'd like them to lean into. But unfortunately, in order to do that, you have to get close. On Richter here, and Axe and Holy Water have just really been a thorn in their side. There's the cross once more. They're off stage, forcing the weird air dodge in. Doesn't get anything off of it, landing there. There's the up throw.
Yeah, trying to get them in disadvantage. And one of the biggest things that's happened to Eric here too is things like the straight back air aren't the strongest move in the world, and you can't get your kill confirmed because the tornadoes just keeps getting out of range. Down throw to up air only works for about maybe 30-40%. At most, usually around 80. So once you're gone out of that, it's a lot harder because you got to find that straight hit. And finding a straight hit against Richter can be very hard sometimes because like you were saying before, just throwing everything in the kitchen sink. You don't want to be playing that range game. And we're seeing a 3-stock here in the second game, trying to see if he just wants to run it back at this point. Eric taking a pause. Definitely need a pause after something like that, Rod, to figure it out.
You definitely gonna need a pause and then some, because good Lord, was that quite the spanking indeed. Again, no disrespect to Eric. Eric, obviously a very strong player, but again, it's just one of those moments where you have two characters kind of with the same idea in mind, you know, zone, and I do have options at certain percents that allow me to break my own zoning and come in for a real follow-up, you know, something that's confirmed. However, it just feels like Richter, you know, Dom is just doing it slightly better than Eric. Eric's going to have to bring something a little different to the table here. Maybe it could be the stage switch that we need. Here we are, small battlefield, down tilt right in the forward here to kick it off.
Already getting a lot of down tilt pressure. I think if you're Eric, you have to figure out a different way to go for ledge trapping here, because the Belmonts, with the fact that they instantly tether right back to recovery, they don't have to worry about that tornado so much on 2 frames. It's a lot harder to get it. So maybe an attempt at a down air, maybe a nair off stage to try and beat them out like you saw in that first stock. Because otherwise, these tornadoes haven't really been finding the mark. Does find the air dodge, though. That's going to force him to go low to see if he actually gets anything. That time does, but the high air dodge run does get covered, but Dom is still alive for a little bit longer.
Oh, most definitely, man. Ajax, you might actually be a magician or some sort of psychic or something, because you just spoke a lot of that into reality. Again, you know, just getting a character like this off stage, you know, even if like you can't quite get the tornado the way you want it, wait for them to pull up off of that tether and then see what you can turn it into, because that is one thing I will say about the Belmonts, is that they do hang out at the ledge just a little bit too long, especially when the pressures stick like this. So with this in mind right now, Eric has a pretty sizable lead. I'd like to see him try to hold on to it. Great spot dodge, and I don't typically say that very often, but that was a really nicely placed spot dodge right there. Doesn't quite get anything off of it, and there's the reflect, homie. That's yours.
Yeah, just send it right back. I do not want anything to do with this. Oh, the axe pressure forcing the shield. That forward throw might have done it too. That is a kill throw option, but it's not going to do it just yet. Eric gets another chance. He needs to walk out for these back airs in the F tilt. It's very quick to use. You got to respect it. Up air though, like 16% after Stalin, 20% pure. So one of those, again, maybe a falling up air too, could possibly net them the stock right now with all of this rage.
We're going to have to see how it's going to play out because that F tilt right there forcing Eric way off stage once more. And as we've seen, though, despite, you know, Dom not doing so well right there on that first stock off stage, Eric hasn't done well at all off stage at all in either of the stocks in between both of the last games. But doesn't seem to matter. The axe right there is going to shut it down. Eric still with a pretty okay sized lead, but if I know Dom as well as I think I do, at least the gameplay, I don't know him personally, but the gameplay, of course, certainly speaks for itself. There has to be something that's going to come out here to try to force this back towards even footing.
I mean, one of SoCal's finest and one the best Belmont in the business for a reason. You cannot fall asleep on a player of this caliber. He's really good at making comebacks, but when you're getting controlled consistently like this, getting caught out by these down tilts, getting pressured with the chakra, which is finally alive in this game 3, getting the hit, forcing the air dodge, and then goes for down throw, up air. That's a true confirm, and that is Eric putting himself on the board.
All right, Eric back into the money. I was like, yeah, we're not going to get a 3-0 to kick this block off, okay? I mean, we finally got some you know, more unconventional characters we're not used to seeing all the time, especially not at this level, because typically at most majors you do get to see these characters, but it's like during pools and it's just some homies, just some guys being dudes, but not here at the World Tour, okay? These characters play at their highest level. So I was like, please, no 3-0s. Eric back on the board. Now, keep in mind, friends, the Swordfighter is what brought them here, but there is a really strong Rob in the background just in case things get a little too crazy, but I don't think we're going to see that here.
I think at this point, no, because the change-ups we saw there in that game were huge. I am super surprised that FD was left open because now we're going to see Richter get access to one of his favorite stages where, hey, the entire game is a game of Mousetrap. You got to try and navigate everything. I didn't know we were about to see Home Alone 4, but here it comes. We got Richter putting out the wall. Let's see if Eric can get around it. I think he did a good job in that last game, but a lot of that had to do with tech chase platform pressure. Hopefully it doesn't come back to cost him leaving FD open here in game number 4.
That's right. No platforms to land on comfortably. No platforms to hide when the pressure gets too thick. It's just you, and it's just your opponent right here going heads up. And I guess their definition of heads up is just to throw things at each other. But you know what, though? As long as the percent gets on the board, I don't care what the hell happens. Oh, Eric getting, I don't want to say pineapple, getting FD, getting something. We'll work on the terminology later. Whatever the case is, they're not coming back to the ledge, and sadly enough, they unfortunately ended up losing the stock. But that's okay, though, because really working on Doms here.
Yeah, trying to go for the ledge jump back here. They're in. All right, good job. After realizing you're not within space of that tornado, you don't go for that. But that's a kill confirm right there. You get up in front of a chakram that covers neutral get up every single time. It's all about how you adjust after that first stock if you SD. And the tech, reading all these techs in place. The frame trap forcing the air dodge down, catch with the up tilt, pushing him away. Eric is starting to wake up a little bit here, Rod. I think this is all of a sudden becoming a much better set.
This is most definitely becoming a bet, because you know we talked about before the block started, no 3-0s, okay? Not here. You know what I'm saying? There ain't no pools at something like this. You know what I'm saying? This is the best of the best. I want to see these go a couple games, especially with characters like these. Back to the ledge, does not get up in time right there for the holy water. Great timing, but yes, there's still a lot being tossed at him, and then some right now. The tornado right into the up air is going to shut it down. Dom right here just, I mean, getting dominated right there on that second stock. Final stock right here. Let's see what he's turning it into.
Man, considering how well Dom was able to change things around. That was a great coverage. Looking for the forward air. You force him to go low. Catch him with the chakram. Maybe a down air. Yes, tried to catch the down air, but because he committed way too hard to it, actually gave up the stock. So that could be pretty bad. However, Rod, you know, the first SD didn't matter that much. Let's see if the second one actually matters here, as we see both of them on the last stock.
That's right. Dom kind of getting a second lease on life, if I may say so myself. You know, 49% is certainly nothing, especially when you are this talented of an individual. I mean, you are the Belmont. You know, when people think of this character, they most certainly think of you in a competitive mindset. And so because of that, you can stay back into the cut. Great job getting around that F smash right there. That would have been huge damage. And of course, that probably would have been enough to put Eric off stage, which according to the first 2 games is not a comfortable position for him to be in.
Bro, Eric out here fighting for his life. Like that mash net air dodge he got out of that. Oh, getting up in front of it, but not getting hit by down smash. Dom just missing out on a couple kill confirms twice, but now forcing him back off stage. What do you do to cover this here? You covered roll on last time. You got Holy Fire in hand, but mashing the air dodge up, that was the best hit you could have taken in that F tilt.
Oh, most definitely. Rolls in that time. Very smart. Gets the up air. Still not enough to turn it into anything, though, but great percent. And yes, opening up once more with those down tilts. Now, we did see that at the beginning of the last game. That was kind of a sign that he was getting a little bit more comfortable up close and personal. I want to see a little bit more of that. Get down there.
A delay, not getting hit by the chakra. One of these back here, sweet spot could do it. It's not going to hit. The reflector is going to send the axe back. What do you do about the get up though? Got directly in front of Dom, but doesn't get the hit. Now we're out of down. We're also out of down throw ranges, so there's no down throw to up air anymore. You have to be super careful here if you're Erin trying to commit to your KOs, because you can only go for raw hits at this point.
And this is just a mini game at this point for both individuals. But who is going to find that final opening? Unfortunately, not getting anything off of the holy water. Was able to find an opening.